Because right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Oh, yes, we do. Busy night tonight in the sports department. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. You can reach us on the Borders and Borders hotline. It's 412-575-2600. I'm going to reach out right now to Andrew Fillipponi. We're simulcasting this on 93.7 The Fan. It's been a busy day. I'll get to the Pirates in a second, Andrew, but I wanted to start with the Steelers, who had their annual press conference before the draft, in which they really didn't tell you much. But the one thing that stuck out to me was this dangling of the 32nd pick out there and how excited they seem to be to have it, really for the first time, to start a day with the first overall pick on day 2, which means a lot of teams will be calling, which means a lot of offers could be made. What do you expect to happen with that 32nd pick? Do they retain it or do they trade
Bob,
it?
Think about the other part of it that you just said. So they're all excited. Tomlin specifically was just gushing about it, about that downtime between the end of the first round and the resumption of the draft the next night and all the calls and how that's just such a big trade chip. Doesn't that mean that they're not going to use that pick to trade up in the first round?
Sure.
Why would he be excited about pick 32 if they're going to use pick 32 to go from the 17th pick to like the 8th or 9th or 10th pick in the draft? And I have a hard time believing they'd be able to move up that far without using that 32nd pick. Would you agree with that? Unless they give away next year's first-round pick, which they hate doing that. They've only done that one time.
I think if they're going to do something, it may not be a massive trade-up. I don't foresee them trading to 9, but they could trade maybe to 12 or 13, depending on how it goes. They're going to have that in their back pocket, and it could mean trading the 49th pick. Is that what it is, the 49th pick? The one there,
Yeah,
the first flip-flop first, give that one, and maybe a 5th-round pick or something of that nature if they feel inclined to move up to get an offensive tackle or somebody of that nature.
It just seems like they're – if I'm not denying what you just said, because I do think that's possible to go from like 17 to 13 or 14 by giving up, the 49th pick in the draft. But then I guess the whole point of pick 32 is we'll take the highest bid. We're going to move because we want to get picks back if we do that. So that's a lot of moving parts. I think Omar Khan relishes that. I think he looks at himself as almost a day trader on the Wall Street floor here, making all kinds of moves. We know that he's got that very analytical background, but I just was so surprised to hear Tomlin talk that way about this 32nd pick, basically telling the entire league, hey, get your offers in. We want to trade this pick. Bob, I also thought, speaking of trading up, I thought a couple interesting things. When Khan was talking about how a guy needs to love football, that's not Jalen Carter based on what happened at the pro day. He did not look like a football lover that day. And did you watch this? Did you see this full interview, Bob? Did you watch the full press conference? Was it just me, or was Tomlin trying really hard to downplay the local player in the Joey Porter Jr. connection? I mean, super hard, trying to distance himself from that whole idea that there's a bias towards guys who they know, even though we've seen them draft a lot of guys like that, like Kenny Pickett last year. So I was trying to figure that out. Like, is that a big smokescreen, or is he really resentful over the idea that we in the media just assume that they have a preference for guys like that?
He might. I don't think that's the case. If it is, it may be a smokescreen for what he really intends to do. And he likes playing those games, I think, at times. And it is, poker. It is gamesmanship. So I think that is part of it. And you could throw off people off your trail by making some comments that they may take seriously or whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is, I think if Joey Porter Jr. is somebody they like, they will take him regardless of what anyone else thinks. They're going to do it if they think he's the guy. I don't know that he's going to be their pick. It would be interesting to see if a cornerback fell to 32, a good one, and they still have that pick and how much it would take to yank it away. We got to go to a break here, Andrew. When we come back, we'll also talk about news concerning the Pirates or where they are and the story they've become in Major League Baseball. Winners of 7 in a row, and regardless of who they beat, it's still 7 in a row, and you take it when you can get it. NHL playoffs, Jimmy Butler goes off today. We have a lot we'll try to cram in, plus your phone calls at 412-575-2600. Right here live on Pittsburgh CW. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.